WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Nice looking Thursday. Actually, it looks like there's some clouds on the horizon. Maybe we'll see some rain coming our way. Do you know, some time ago, we were introduced to the writings and then the audio books of L. Ron Hubbard. And they're like audio plays. They're not the typical audio book where you have like one person reading, but it's like several people acting, and it's all on audio. And if you ever pop it into the whatever player you have in your car nowadays, MP3, whatever you have,
iPod.
Yeah, however you listen to music or listen to audio, I should say, it is. At first you're listening and then you're seeing it because your brain takes over, and well, the same thing happens when you read a book, right? John Goodwin has been with us before. He's with us again. He's the president of Galaxy Press, and they are the ones responsible for those wonderful publications.
Yes.
What do you call them now? Recordings?
I would say.
Whatever they're called. He's a member of the Dubai Press Club. How do you get into that?
That's pretty
He's
awesome.
the Science Fiction Writers of America, the Explorers Club, Mystery Writers of America. He's a board member of the Friends of the Hollywood Central Park, and he's the president of the Hollywood Christmas Parade. I think that's what we were talking about once. I think maybe the last time we had him on, right?
Yeah, before Christmas.
And the L. Ron Hubbard 2015 Illustrators and Writers of the Future Awards and 75th anniversary of the Golden Pen Award. That's a lot of stuff to say. Good morning, John. How you doing?
Good morning, Larry and Robin. It's great to be back.
Where are you right now?
Right now I'm in Hollywood.
In Hollywood. What's it like to be in Hollywood? Does it feel different?
It's early. It feels early.
How come you're in Hollywood? Why are you in Hollywood? Did you move there because you just wanted to be part of Hollywood?
Well, I originally came to basically to L.A. I went to earlier when I was in college. I went to Claremont colleges, and so I was there. And then when I came back to California, I was in Los Angeles. I had job opportunities, and then when I was asked to start up Galaxy Press back in 2002, it was located right here on Hollywood. We're about a block west of the Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard itself.
Oh, that's cool.
Also a block west of the Dolby. So it's exciting, but it's also it's very convenient when I go to the Hollywood Chamber board meetings because it's right across the street.
Are you always there? If I knock on your door, will you come to the door?
I go to New York probably 4 times a year. I travel a fair amount.
No, I mean, if I go to Hollywood and I go 2 doors west of the Chinese Theater, will you be there?
Will I be at the Chinese Theater?
No, wherever you are. Didn't you say you're 2 doors west of the Chinese Theater?
2 blocks.
Two
west.
blocks. Oh, okay.
A block west, yeah.
But anyway, you've got Hollywood actor good looks. Were you an actor at one time? Are you still an actor? What do you do?
Well, to be a publisher, you got to be pretty good at acting.
I wasn't sure. I mean, you have so many credentials. But anyway, thank you for being on. The whole idea of the work that you are helping promote, I love what you do, because the writers and illustrators that we've had on this show, the young people who've won some of these awards, I mean they wouldn't have had this break in their careers any other way.
That's true. And it's interesting. Sometimes you look at it, you say, the young people, it's not even that anymore. It's just people who have had that dream to become an artist or a writer as a professional. They have an opportunity because this contest evens the playing field. Our grand prize winner, Sharon Joss, is involved heavily in the technical side of life, and she's just turned 60 this week.
Is that right?
And we have no idea of the age. It's strictly by the merit and quality of their work that they submit that judges decide who's the winner. And then after that decision is made, then the number gets taken off and transposed to the name. We find out who, where, what, why, all that type of stuff about
That's a great idea. That's what that's what every organization should do. There should be no influence based on anything other than the work that they're submitting.
Exactly. And what's further, when Mr. Hubbard set up this contest back in 1983, he also directed that there are no entry fees, and it's a quarterly contest, so every quarter somebody can actually enter the contest. And at this point now, we have entries from over 160 countries around the world, from both writers and illustrators. And this year, when the contest winners were announced, we had winners. We had someone from Poland, Vietnam, from Australia, from New Zealand, and then several from around the United States. But
Really?
we've had, all over the place that we've had winners. The writing contest is pretty much English is the primary language, although we've had 3 winners now where English was the second language, and their buddies in the writing groups have helped them on their grammar to make that submission. And so we've had some where French and where they've gone from their native tongue to English and won the contest.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Is it all science fiction?
Science fiction, fantasy, alternate history, light horror. It's a overall category called speculative fiction.
So,
Horror has to.
oh, horror. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Horror falls into the category. Actually, horror falls in the category of fantasy, is what it was originally under.
Okay, I just misunderstood what you said. So,
He heard it as one syllable.
I heard it as horror. I thought you said horror.
Oh,
Sorry. But and Robin knew that somehow. I don't know how she knew that.
light horror. So,
Thank you.
yes.
So was this a passion of L. Ron Hubbard? I don't mean to ask a question that I think I know the answer to, but I really don't know. I mean, was there a reason for science fiction being so important?
There was. He was. It's an interesting little backstory. It was what became known as science fiction's golden age. Resulted as from a meeting that the publisher Street and Smith pulled Hubbard and a few other writers who were very popular adventure writers at the time into their offices in New York and said, "We need to upgrade science fiction." As up to that point, science fiction had been ray guns and spaceships and robots, and there weren't really any people. It wasn't humanized. So they were asked to come on board and add their touch of people to science fiction. And so they started doing that, and Hubbard's started writing, and that's what became known as, like I said, the golden age of science fiction. But that was the last genre he was really invited to write into. Then World War II broke out, and so he and along with a lot of the other writers were inducted into the whatever military branch they did. He became an officer in the Navy. When the war was over, Korea started to break out, and it was rapidly escalating up to another world war. It was quite bad at the time. There was the big arms race that was taking place, and so there was a meeting held in Los Angeles at Bob Heinlein's house, which was Hubbard's best friend, and they conceived what became known as a space race. And so they started writing science fiction about going to Mars, going to the moon, going into outer space, and to put man's attention on fighting the unknown out there rather than fighting each other. And so for him, science fiction was more than just the last genre. It was also, as he put in his introduction to Battlefield Earth, science fiction is the herald of possibility, and it's that hope or the dream that a scientist can then, I wonder if I can make that into real life. And so every year when we have our awards ceremony, we always have keynote speakers who are either astronauts or the engineers. This year we had the vice president of Virgin Galactic. And one for one, their inspiration was science fiction to make them want to go out and try something. And so that's kind of like the purpose of science fiction and why it was so important to keep that genre specifically alive, so we can have people thinking about the grander tomorrows and taking on challenges other than trying to beat each other up.
And two things you've said in that, John, that I wanted to kind of point out before we go to the break is that it sounds like those would be hints to anybody who wants to submit to the contest. You have to have the human element, and you have to kind of think like a futurist. You kind of have to guess or not predict necessarily, but create things that we don't have yet that could possibly be, even as far out as it may sound.
Yeah, well, that's a key part of what the science fiction is. But the fantasy is also just, the main thing on it is that what the judges look for, and I realize you have to go to break, but what the judges are looking for is that sense of of originality, a new take on something, because you can say, well, everything's been thought of. No, it hasn't. There's all types of great storylines and ways to go about. And every year I'm amazed at the quality of the stories and what fresh ideas these winners have come up with.
Wow. John Goodwin is on the phone. He's kind of a friend that we've made across the country here, and 1 block from the Chinese Theater. I went to the Chinese Theater a couple times when I was younger. I haven't been there in a long time. We'll take a little break, and we'll be right back with John.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. More clouds and sunshine for today with a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon or this evening. High between 85 and 87. Later on tonight, partly cloudy, low 65 to 70. Partly sunny for the day tomorrow with a high between 80 and 86. And then for Saturday, partly sunny, and we'll have a warm afternoon with a high Saturday between 87 and 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Pay your taxes, eat your vegetables, watch your weight, mow the lawn, clean the house. We all have stuff we don't want to do. Isn't it about time you did something you wanted to do? Like getting your pilot's license? At Ocala Aviation, they make it fun and easy, and you can start by taking one of their Discovery flights. For only $99, you get to go up in the airplane with an FAA-certified flight instructor and actually fly the plane yourself. It's a perfect way to see if flying is for you. And once you get that ultimate feeling of freedom, Ocala Aviation can train you to get your pilot's license. Ocala Aviation also offers commercial flight training for those looking to make a career change and enter the world of commercial aviation. Ocala Aviation is conveniently located at the Ocala International Airport. So if you're ready to start your adventure, stop by or give them a call today. 861-7484. That's 861-7484. You'll be glad you did. I know I am. Ocala Aviation. Call today. 861-7484.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
Kenny's Place Nursery offers horticulture training for the mentally handicapped, and that makes them beautiful people in my book. And those beautiful people have some beautiful plants and flowers on sale, like annuals in 4-inch pots for only $1 each. A 3-gallon bottle brush plant for only $8. Confederate jasmine, 3 gallons for $8. How about azaleas, 1 gallon for only $4.25. And a 2-gallon pot of knockout roses for only $17. Call 352-867-1213 for Kenny's Place Nursery.
Enjoy a round of golf on one of Central Florida's finest courses and help a great cause Monday, May 11th, when Life South Community Blood Centers hosts a golf tournament to benefit the 5 Points of Life Foundation. The scramble will be held at Golden Ocala, with registration and lunch at 11 and a shotgun start at 12:30. The cost is $200 per person, which includes a player gift package. To register, call Life South at 352-224-1728 or visit 5pointsoflife.org.
All right, 12 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Wow, it's already almost 11 o'clock. Hard to believe.
Yeah.
Fast morning. John Goodwin is on the phone. Part of the reason it's a fast morning when you have great interviews like this one. It's a wonderful topic. I love everything about the Illustrators and Writers of the Future Awards discussions, because I like to support creative people. And I just hate when I see somebody sending $20 for this contest. I've always heard that you have to charge because, they always say you have to limit the number of people who can send it in. So if you charge $20, $50, whatever it is, to enter a contest, whether it's for art or for writing or for music or anything, that the judges will have less to judge. And then you hear about something where nobody has to pay anything to enter a contest. You say, well, how come they can do it?
Yeah.
I always feel that way. John, is there a limit? Could I send in 5 books, or can I only send in 1 book?
You can send. It's actually short stories up to 17,000 words, and you can send in one every quarter. So it's you can submit actually 4 times a year. And the way that what you were just saying of introducing back into the segment is that Mr. Hubbard endowed the contest as part of his will with from his own personal royalty earnings. And he remains one of the highest paid authors even this many years after his passing in 1986. But he's ensured that anybody who wants to enter can, and we have people from I mean, I guess it was last year, about mid-year, we had a quarter where we had our youngest and oldest entrants to either contest. The youngest was 8 years old, and the oldest was 103.
Wow.
So it's just, the whole idea is is supporting creativity in the arts, and it's nothing like, well, it's okay to submit from the ages of 16 to 39 or some other type of arbitrary. It's just, if you've got that sense of creativity in you, then submit to the contest.
So let me ask you something. Sometimes a contest will have actually a residual effect on somebody who sent in something. For example, let's say I send in a song and I don't win, but I get a letter back from them say, look, we looked at your song and here's some tips we want to give you. You know, hope you take this the right way. This was too fast, this was too slow. Do you give feedback to the authors at all? Is there some kind of a mentoring thing that you guys do?
Yes, there's actually two ways that's done. The first way is, as part of the regular submission process, we have the winners, but then we also have what we call finalists. They're like the top 10%. These guys who get little critiques from the judges saying, just like that, what you said, something about the writing or about the illustration. And then the winners themselves are flown out at the end of the year. We just finished our award ceremony about 2 weeks ago with a week-long workshop that was provided, where at the contest expense, we fly the winners out from wherever they are, and they receive a week-long workshop from judges of the contest, which are some of the biggest names in the industry, giving their hard-won advice of how to write hard science fiction or how to write fantasy, or if you like to do long in-depth study, or if you like to be able to go create. And there's a series of essays that were written by Mr. Hubbard in the during his heyday as a pulp fiction writer on how to come up with story ideas and how to get story vitality and how to create suspense. And around that, then these judges give their lectures. And so these guys have quite a takeaway of how do you really go into the next level now now that you're a professional.
Right.
So they are given critiques, but the winners are have the real incredible take-home of the week-long workshop.
We had a young lady on here who was one of the winners from the Illustrators category, but she was also a writer.
Yeah.
I don't know if she won anything with your contest with the writing part of it, but I know that she was anxious to one day be the writer and illustrator. I can't remember her name. You might know it, John. Do you remember who we might be speaking of?
We've had 3 people have made that bridge over. I'm actually not sure who that would have been, there's been
okay.
Our winners are just uniformly, they're just really, really nice people, and there are some that I want to be able to win both, and so we've definitely had that 3 times now that people have won both of them.
Do you find that when people do their art submissions that it's more computer art than actual brush on canvas, or is that not true?
It's not true. There's we accept for the main thing on the submissions is it's illustration, so it's not like here's a painting of a pretty painting of a flower type thing, or here's a seascape. It's got to be illustration, which actually the image itself tells a story. So it can be pencil sketch, it can be charcoal, it can be computer generated, it can be painting, it can be with oil, with acrylic, with watercolor. We've had all kinds of stuff, and so there's no criteria in that. Other than that, it's good illustration. In order to submit and enter the contest, you have to submit 3 pieces. But you can find all the information at writersofthefuture.com, where it has all the entry fees. Or better yet, what we recommend and the judges all recommend is get a copy of the book, and then for your writer, you can read the stories and know what type of a story quality you have to have, and you can see all the art, which is now, with our new format that we've done, has a back section which lists all the which shows all the art in color, as well as the black and white illustrations, which are printed throughout as part of the stories themselves.
Oh, wow.
Okay, did you say entry fees? Are there fees?
No, there's the entries. There's no entry fee. It's no cost to enter.
3 entries. He said 3 entries in art.
Oh, 3, yeah, T-H-R-E-E.
3, T-H-R-E-E.
Okay, gotcha. So the website, I just went to writersofthefuture.com. So how was L. Ron Hubbard's, was he an illustrator also? Where was his interest in illustrations? Or did he just understand the relationship between illustrations and writing?
No, he was himself an artist. He did do painting. I mean, he was a poet, he was an artist, he was a photographer, as well as a writer. And so he understood the importance of the arts. But during the Pulp Fiction days, what you had was the magazines had always an illustration of the story. If you had all looked at any of those of the old pulp stories, or even now you actually have the Astounding Science Fiction, you have the art depictions of like the key stories in these magazines. And so he observed the symbiotic relationship between illustration and writing, and so that was implemented with this contest. But what's interesting is we take 2 additional muses at our award ceremony, which is music and dance. So we have all 4 of the art muses being celebrated at one event. So we've got this year we opened it with a song that somebody wrote, and somebody wrote the lyrics to, and someone else then created the scored, and then it was performed, which opened up the whole thing, which celebrates the art.
I'm looking at it right now. A pretty lady, blonde hair, singing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's see. This is the 75th anniversary
of the Golden Pen Award, right? Which was started in Ketchikan, Alaska, in 1940, when Hubbard was up in Ketchikan. He was on his first expedition for the Explorers Club, and ended up in Ketchikan, Alaska, and as part of a radio show he did where he was giving advice to mariners on seafaring techniques, he implemented then a Golden Pen Award because Ketchikan is actually one of America's top 100 small communities recognized for its arts. I was just there about a month ago, and it was amazing. Not only is it the rain capital of the United States, where it's
the rain capital, between
150 and 170 inches a year.
Wow.
That's a lot of water. Especially from down here in Los Angeles, where you've got a drought now for year number 3, and they're rationing.
Yeah, that pipe doesn't sound so crazy. That pipe sounds like a good idea. What was I going to ask now?
So about Ketchikan, about the Golden Pen Award, 75th anniversary.
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you. Have any of the early winners, can you look back on some of the early writings and say, wow, they predicted that this would come to pass? So maybe some technology we have now that was in the book and didn't even seem possible back then?
Well, on the a lot of the things that you see, in terms of technology, there's things that are happening right now with artificial intelligence that were originally written about in these stories here. This is like 30 years ago. Like the steampunk genre itself was started. One of the judges, Tim Powers, created steampunk. He's the one that did that. He's one of our judges. He's the one that wrote on Stranger Tides that Johnny Depp made into a movie. But we've had several of our winners that have gone into downloading consciousness and the whole thing of do these creations, do they have a personality? Can they have identity? Can they, this whole thing, which is continuing, which right now science is very much embroiled in, was originally conceived in this stuff. You go earlier, you have like obviously Star Trek. You have your cell phones from those communicators, and you've got Mr. Hubbard on his thing, so there's his and Robert Heinlein have had various devices they've conceived in their fiction, which you now start seeing.
That is so cool. Isn't that just cool?
It is amazing.
That is cool. I mean, you can see it when you look back, but you can't always see it when you're looking at it when it's now, and you're trying to imagine it being in the future. John, thank you for being on the air with us. Always good to have you on the show. The video of the award ceremony is complete. It's a 3-hour video. I'm looking at it right now. It's a 3-hour video on the website writersofthefuture.com. If you ever want to take a moment and watch that. Any other websites we should give out? We got 30 seconds.
Okay, I said writersofthefuture.com. The other one is galaxypress.com. But in that 30 seconds, I'd also like to say, if you enjoy really good science fiction and fantasy, if if you like science fiction and fantasy, and you had an opportunity to get 20 new incredible ideas on science fiction and fantasy that are great award-winning top science fiction writers in the world, then would you want to check it out? And invariably the answer is yes. So that's what I recommend you go to and check this out.
Thank you, John. That was great. We'll be right back.
I'm Lillian Wu, the president, expressing condolences to the families of hostages killed in a counterterrorism operation.
I profoundly regret what happened. On behalf of the United States government, I offer